Hi, and welcome to Fan Talk. I'm Simon.
I'm David.
And today we'll be covering the weekend of August 23rd through 25th, the box office results. Well, what happened, who fell, who survived, and who will be the final one. No. And also we'll take a look at what's coming out this coming weekend. Well, to start off with, Gerard Butler had a good weekend.
Yeah, he did.
Started off with number one with Angel Has Fallen, the third in the threequel in the Fallen series, I guess is what we're calling that now.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good movie. Went and saw it last weekend. It's a little different than the others. Maybe the style and the tone is a little different, and it's not just a boilerplate remake. It's not like, Die Harder.
Yeah, this one they actually did a few different things than the other movies because they said they really didn't want this to be just the same old thing. So.
Yeah, even Butler said in an interview, he's like, we could have done like, Tokyo Has Fallen or wherever else around the world. He's like, but I wanted to kind of go back home to the States on this and do something a little different. It definitely has some feelings of The Fugitive and kind of more kind of the grittiness of like Bourne Identity style filming. Mm-hmm. So it was refreshing. I enjoyed it. But it came in number one at 21 million. This wasn't a big weekend as far as like massive box office numbers. This is just kind of all of them just kind of plugging away. But the summer's wrapping up, and that's to be expected. Number two, the Not So Good Boys came in second. So they're making a little bit of money. They're not going to be the big August breakout that I think we were hoping.
No.
But they're still doing fine.
Yeah, the movie made all its money like the first opening week, pretty much.
Yeah, it's sitting at $48 million worldwide on a $20 million budget.
Yeah.
It's only in the second week.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's doing okay.
Yeah, they'll all have jobs again. Number three is the one that surprised me. Remember that Christian drama movie I was saying last weekend?
Yeah.
Or last week? Overcomer came in at number three with a strong, actually overperformed slightly, with $8 million on a $5 million budget. So the feel-good, religious movie is doing well for itself, which is good
great.
for it.
Yeah, good.
Based on the word of mouth and the reviews, it might be a Redbox one I'll catch at some point. I wouldn't mind seeing it now that I've heard a bit more about it and saying it's actually...
Well, and that's the thing about a lot of these films is there's just things that, every person likes to go and see and things that people don't. And it's like I try whenever we're doing this to say, hey, if you like this kind of film, you'll probably enjoy this, go watch it. If you don't watch it. And, I mean, there's things, obviously, that I don't catch just because of their sheer time. There's too much to try and watch everything. So you have to limit it to things I think I'm going to enjoy, and I think the biggest fan base is going to want to hear about. So that's kind of how it works. But when something like that comes along and it starts getting that word of mouth, it starts really moving, all of a sudden it's like, well, you know what? I didn't take time to see this one. So.
And I do enjoy good dramas. But usually my theater money is reserved for things that are worthy of the big screen. Explosions, sci-fi, things like that. And a lot of dramas, even the ones I really like Darkest Hour, things like that, are ones I'm going to end up catching on the small screen just because time and, can't go see everything. Which I could, but number four, Hobbs and Shaw just barely eked out number five. Lion King does by just a few $1,000s, literally, for the fourth spot this weekend. Doing fine, open in China. It's because it opened in China and had a over $100 million opening in China this last weekend. The Hobbs Shaw movie is actually the number one movie last weekend globally.
Yeah, because
it just had that big bump
in China.
Got the big pop again. It's not doing Fast and Furious main entry numbers of like 170, 180 million.
It hasn't the whole time, but we didn't expect that.
That just goes with par for the course with the movie so far. But it's doing just fine for itself. We were talking about Lion King. It's at $1.5 billion. Need I say more? Number six was the other movie that opened this last weekend. Actually opened last Wednesday, Ready or Not, that kind of comedy horror movie about the bride having
family
trying to kill her after. Strong word of mouth, strong reviews, but it actually opened soft compared to what they're hoping. So...
I think with this kind of movie, I think we might see that this has some legs and stretches out a little bit, and I think that they're going to end up getting where they want to be.
Yeah, I don't have they didn't release the budget numbers for that one, but based on the type of movie it is, it can't be too terribly.
No,
we're not talking Endgame numbers.
Yeah, I think that they're going to get where they need to be with this film, and so we'll see how it pans out after the next couple of weeks. But
number seven, Angry Birds 2, coming in a little soft on the numbers that they're hoping for. I think it's just kind of like several other sequels this year. Lego Movie 2, like kids sequels, like they just haven't. The Secret Life of Pets 2, they just haven't hit as hard as they were hoping for as a follow-up on a well-known franchise.
Yeah.
It's looking like it might break even with especially with merchandising and stuff, but it wasn't as strong as the first movie. And
some of those things have really surprised me too. I mean, I have to say, like Angry Birds, I've said it in the last video, we were talking about this, I really feel like they missed the point in which to push these films out. If these films would have came out when Angry Birds was like the #1 game download in the world, everybody would have watched these movies. All that being said, I think the second one, I've seen it, is actually a lot better than the first one. So as far as the movie goes, it's a better movie. Now, whether it's going to do, as much as the first, or what all is yet to be seen.
And we've seen this in several franchises over the years that if you have several movies coming out in a franchise, and then there's kind of a one that's more or less a stinker or not very good, and then you have a follow-up after that's incredible, it's still going to be smarting from the bad publicity or bad memories of that last one that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hurt by what came out before, and that might have been the case at the Angry Birds. One movie wasn't as good, so people just decided to give number 2 a skip.
Yeah, and that's a possibility. The one that really surprised me this summer, that really actually, was Lego Movie 2. I raced right out to watch that one because the first one was the one I missed out on. A Lego Movie, there were so many of the Lego cartoons,
that was almost
TV
a cultural
movies.
event.
I was that is going to be stupid. And then I was literally sitting in my house that was on the pay-per-view, and I'm like, you know what, everybody's asleep, I'm gonna watch this, why not? I'd heard great things. All you hear is how great it was, and I literally laughed from almost beginning to end.
It was great.
It was great. I loved Lego
and
Movie.
The Batman movie was good.
It was good.
The Ninjago movie was okay.
I wasn't a huge fan of the Ninjago movie, but I'm not a huge fan of the Ninjago series.
Right.
Now Lego Movie 2, I thought it was fantastic. I loved it. I thought it was really good,
I think people have just gotten burnt out on the idea.
Yeah, I think
because each one has been diminishing returns on the money as well. Now, it'll be a big budget drop for the next one, or they might give it a break for a few years and try again, or it might be the last we hear of it for a while. We'll see.
We'll see.
Number 8, Your Scary Stories is still hanging strong.
Still, rocking and rolling.
Yeah, it's made $71 million worldwide off of 25.
Yeah.
So it's almost triple the budget. That's a very good place to be.
Yeah, and there's still 3 more books, so...
they can have a follow-up.
Yeah,
they can have scarier stories.
Scarier stories. Yeah, and the thing is with that series is, I would not even put it past to become maybe one of the network, non-network television channels, like a TV series. Like back in the day, it used to be a really big thing to have this horror series, like Monsters was one of them, and Tales from the Dark Side.
I was going to say Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt was one, and they're actually redoing Creepshow. There's the Creepshow movies are starting to come back, where it's like several short films crammed together in a movie. We'll talk about that in a later video, but I wouldn't even be opposed to them trying something like that with the scary stories. It would be good.
Well, with numbers like that, I'm pretty sure we'll see that second round get turned into books as long as the rights and everything stay together.
Yeah.
Number 9, Dora, is starting to pop up on some international numbers, up to $60 million on a $49 budget. So I think this has a chance to do well internationally, just because it's more of a diverse cast and etc. But it's doing okay for itself. And then number 10, probably the last time we'll see it on this list, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
He's made $240 million off this movie worldwide,
which is fantastic.
Which is well past his last one.
He's really knocked out the park this time.
I'm happy with that one.
Quentin Tarantino. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the whole cast, and I think that come award season, we're going to see. Some more of this. I think it would be a shame if Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't get nominated for something in this film. Everybody's acting was great, but the character was just really good for him.
Yeah. Well, let's look at next weekend. We don't have a whole lot.
No. Which makes sense for the time of year. Everybody's back in school.
Summer's over. The summer season's over. So August 30th, we have Don't Let Go, which I guess is the anti-Frozen movie.
Don't ever let go.
Disney's going to hate that one. No. It's a suspense thriller directed by Jacob Aaron Estes, based on a story he wrote. It premiered at Sundance this year. It did pretty well for itself. It's gotten a good name. It's kind of a bit more indie-ish. It's about a guy who keeps getting... His family was murdered, and he keeps getting phone calls from his niece. And he's like, is this a ghost? Am I going crazy? What? It is a ghost type thing, and he's using that then to find ways to prevent the murder somehow.
Yeah.
So, interesting concept. And it stars David David O. Of Selma fame and some other movies. My apologies for butchering that. But go check it out. It looks like it might be a good movie if you like some good suspense. But that's all we have opening up. Here in another week or so, we have It 2 coming out.
Yep.
Which I never. Well, I'm going to confess here. I mean, it's impossible for us to have seen everything that's ever come out. So we all have holes.
Shame on you for not watching the new It.
No, so we all have holes in our thing somewhere, and I've never seen either of the It's.
Yeah, you've never seen the original?
No.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my gosh! That like one of your favorite actors,
Tim Curry.
Yeah,
I know
plays
that.
Pennywise. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't believe you've never seen the original. I thought for sure you'd seen that. No, well, that was one of those films that came out that I was excited about but disappointed. It's always
the redone.
Yeah,
Okay.
whenever they're going to redo a film that you thought was close to perfect, and when it comes to Stephen King films, it's kind of those things. They've been real hit and miss. There was some really great ones put out, and there were some ones that really weren't. They weren't theatrically done well, in my opinion.
There were some that came out that were basically B movies that were enhanced by the fact they're Stephen King movies.
Exactly. And, and there was a lot of those TV movies, especially at that point in time, that were done, and that, they were done okay, but they just weren't fantastic. And
what's the one where they changed into cat people?
Sleepwalkers.
Sleepwalkers.
And but the thing I really liked about it was done so well. They had a really good cast. They had Tim Curry played Pennywise the clown, which was fantastic. And it was divided into two halves. And the character is so incredibly terrifying in that film. And then in the new one, I felt like they went a lot more with, instead of the suspense and just what he is terrifying, a lot more of the monster feature, like making him scary, and creepy
overtly
looking.
Scary.
Yeah, overly scary and creepy looking. That being said, the movie was really good. Pennywise is terrifying as usual, and this second one, we'll do a preview of it at some point, but I think it's going to deliver well, and especially if you think about the original It movie. The second half is usually everybody's least favorite because everybody was just like, spoilers, it was a spider. No, it's not actually a spider. But
do we need to do spoilers on 30, 40-year-old movies?
Probably not. but anyways,
Vader is his father.
I think that this go around it's going to really do well, and I'm kind of excited to see it. So we'll talk more about that here in a couple weeks.
I think next week we're going to do a reaction of, we'll just cover both of the main trailers that are out for It, and more if there is more available. I think there's just 2 out, so we can just do those back to back next week, I think.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, well, and we'll cover that next week, and stay tuned for another video here shortly. We'll be doing a roundup of the D23 and some light Star Wars news. It's been a pretty slow week there, so we'll have a little bit to talk about. But please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.